Alright, so hello one and all, welcome back to another video. So, last week we talked about Winter 2020 anime, and this week I'm talking about Spring 2020. So, I wanted to go over just my first initial thoughts on each of the series that have started airing. So I've only seen about 3 to 4 episodes of each of these series, so that's what I'll be writing the review on. And I know I'm like a quarter way through the season and I'm now doing the review. I'm a little late, but better late than ever, I suppose. Yeah, I'm not going to be going in any order of best to worst. It's just whatever's on the list I'm going to talk about. So, without further ado, let's start with Fruits Basket Season 2. So, for those of you who don't know what Fruits Basket is in general, it's about this girl named Toru Honda who ends up moving in with these Zodiac people. And for those of you who don't know what a Zodiac person is, it is someone who, when they get hugged by the opposite gender, they turn into a Zodiac animal. It's a little weird. But it's a nice, fun little rom-com, and it's pretty good. So Season 2 is basically the exact same thing as Season 1, except in Season 1 and more focused on Q, which I think was awesome, and I really love the character, but I imagine Season 2 will now focus on Yuki, which, I'm not a huge fan of. Episode 3 made me like him a bit more, but I don't know. I definitely prefer Q over Yuki. But so far, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. It really feels just like Season 1. So far, really good. Next up is Gleipnir, which... where do I begin? It's kind of like Darling in the Franxx X mixed with Mirai Nikki. Like, you know, with the Link mecha and the cute psychopath girl. That is Gleipnir. It's almost a battle royale type anime with a bunch of people fighting to collect coins which can grant them wishes. It's pretty strange. It's a weird concept. It's a twist on the Mirai Nikki in Darwin's game battle royale to become God concept. So far I'm really enjoying it. It's super cool. The fighting is amazing. The characters are pretty cool. However, I feel like part of me thinks that this could just derail and turn kind of meh. So I'm a little worried, but I'm still really excited. And there's this one character trope that I've always hated, and it's basically, it's been featured in Madoka Magica and Your Lie in April, and I'm pretty sure a couple others, but it's basically where the main female protagonist, before the series begins, they are an ugly little nerd girl with twin tails, maybe glasses, and she might be braided, I don't know. But she's just a stupid nerd who nobody cares about. She influences the story to start, essentially. She is the mastermind behind everything, trying to meet the main character, and Gleipnir kind of does that. The main female protagonist, I don't know her name, but she, in the past, was a little ugly girl who then became a slut, who is still a virgin, however, and we must know that. It's important information, apparently. But in this case, it's her sister who is the mastermind, and it's a twist on the trope where it's split between two characters. I still don't like it, but at least in this case, it was revealed at the beginning of the series instead of the end, or in the final scene, like Your Lie in April. And that is the one bad thing about the show. And there's another anime on this list that does the exact same trope, which I am so surprised that 2 did the same trope, but at least they're revealed at the beginning of the series. But funny enough, this show can get me pretty horny and pretty grossed out at the same time, so, you know, if you're into both of those things, then you'll probably enjoy Gleipnir. So next up is Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2. So, again, for those of you who don't know what Season 1 is, it's about these two characters who are part of the Students' Council. I forget their name. They remind Shirogane, I think, is one of them. But they're the president and vice president of the Students' Council, and they are both trying to get the other to confess their love to them. Meanwhile, they are denying their own feelings for each other, and they don't realize that they're in love with the other. Except Kaguya, I believe that's the female's name, Kaguya. It's in the title. Kaguya, I believe in Season 2, she does realize that she likes the main character, and she actually accepts it, which is really interesting. So much like Fruits Basket Season 2, this could literally just be tacked on to Season 1. It's the exact same stuff, which I'm fine with. It's really funny. Episode 1 was hilarious. And the thing is, I don't like many rom-com shows, but in this case, it's really good. Because it not only has a lot of funny comedy, really funny comedy, great characters, but it also has great character development. And that's one thing that I really look for in anime. So overall, I'm really excited for the season. I'm definitely invested and I cannot wait for more. Up next is Kakushigoto, which is about a father who writes manga which is not child friendly, it is not PG, and he wants to hide it from his daughter, so it's just a simple, funny little rom-com. However, that's what it seems like on the surface. I'm thinking that there's going to be a little bit of a dark twist later on, because every now and then you'll be getting a flash forward to the future when Hime, the daughter, is 18. And she's going through these old boxes of an abandoned house that looks exactly like theirs, and the father's nowhere to be found. At least I don't think so. So I'm really thinking the father, he's not around anymore, and it's gonna become like Clanad kind of vibes, and we're gonna get really sad. But yeah, Kakushigoto is a really funny show, but I feel like it's gonna get really emotional, and you're just gonna... So I'm really excited. It's super good so far. Also, I forgot to mention, it's not only just about the father trying to hide stuff from his daughter. First of all, he's overprotective, and it's super funny, but he's also... we get to understand a bit more of the life of a mangaka. How much of it is actually realistic, I don't know, but I do believe that you learn a little bit of stuff about the industry from watching this, so it's really cool. It's a little bit of an informative anime, but also really stupid and funny. Up next is Kami no To, and it's kind of hard for me to describe this anime because I feel like it's not going to give it justice, but I'll do it anyway. So it's about this boy named Bam who knows this girl Rachel, who she wants to climb the Tower of God, and she abandons him, but then he also wants to climb it to follow her, and so he can be with her again. And so he has to go through a bunch of trials and challenges and whatever with some squad members that he finds, and it's really cool. Horrible description. So I'll put a good description on the screen right now, just so. Again, I'm not doing it justice. I want you to understand what the show is really like because it's so good. The community is surprisingly split on the show, which I don't understand why. Personally, I love the show. It is so good. It's giving me some Maze Runner 1 vibes, specifically Maze Runner 1. Not Maze Runner 2 or 3, we can forget about those even existing, please. Maze Runner 1 vibes with them, it's like a test. You don't know what's going on, you don't know the world, but you're thrown into here and you have to deal with it. And it's super cool. If I want to compare it to another anime, I would say that it's similar to The Ones Within, which both have a very trial challenge type scenario, which with each episode you're facing some kind of new trial. And just the color scheme, it's very bright, flashy anime, very stylized. I'm super intrigued with this anime. I love the character design, the art style, surprisingly alike, which I don't like Kill la Kill's art style, and I think that it's drawn by a 5-year-old, and that's why I don't like it. It just looks bad. But this one kind of does too. It almost looks like it's drawn with crayons, but it just works. But everything about it is so absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait for more, and I want to make more videos about this show, but I don't know what. I want to read ahead because there's like 500 chapters and I really want to read more, but I'm trying to wait until this season is over, but it's so difficult. Thankfully there's only 13 episodes to this season, so I don't have to wait too long before I can read ahead. But yeah, I'm super excited. Everything in the show has me invested. The lore, the plot, the characters, it's all just so fascinating, and I'm in love with it. Next up is another fantastic show, Yasure wo Utate. So, much like Kami no To, it's a little difficult to describe the show. In this case, it's because there is no plot to this. It's even on the My Anime List page, it's like a 2-sentence summary because you can't really describe the show very easily. But I'll do my best to describe it, basically by naming off the characters. We have the main character Rikuo, who after high school, a couple years later I think, he has become a convenience store clerk, and that's kind of it. He's kind of failing in life. He's not going anywhere, but he's not, I don't know, he's kind of just is stuck in life right now. He does meet an old crush from high school, Shinako, which she had become, she moves on from high school to become a teacher. And then there's one of Shinako's students, well, previous students, Haru. She dropped out. And she eventually meets the main character and ends up liking him. And now already you can see there's a little bit of a love triangle going on. But we're not done. Because there's this other guy, Ro, who is also a previous student of Shinako, except he graduates. He likes Shinako, but Shinako, turns out, likes somebody else, which I'm not going to get into them right now, because that's some spoilers. But this isn't just a simple love triangle, this is like a love hexagon right here. And that may sound all ridiculous, it may seem a little unrealistic, but in reality, it's not. It's not really your classic rom-com, and this is a drama romance, and it's super good. The reason why it's hard to explain the plot is because it's very mature and realistic. It's like talking about real life. There is no plot, it's just things happen because they do, right? But anyway, much like in Gleipnir, this also features the main character, Haru, who in the past she was a little ugly nerd girl, twin tails and glasses, and it's stupid. But it's revealed that she knew the main character before the series began, at the beginning of the series, so thankfully it's not at the end like all the other series that do this. So I don't know why I hate this trope so much, it's stupid, I don't know. Maybe I'll make a video about it. I do want to talk about character tropes in one video. Maybe that's a good idea. I don't know. The way that they handled it in the show was pretty good. It wasn't horrible. At one point in the show, Haru declares war for the love of Rikuo with Shinako. Did that make sense? Basically, Shinako, she doesn't really like the main character. She doesn't like Rikuo in that way, but despite that, Haru still declares war. And it's the way that she declared war was a little unrealistic, very childish, but overall it is very mature compared to other series. For example, look at Nisekoi. This is like the master of love triangles. In that, Shitogen Onodora, or Andra, I forget how to pronounce her name, they don't know that the other likes Ichijo, but they both try and go at him, which then causes issues with other people and they get in the way of everybody else. But in this, right out of the bat, it's just, I like this guy and we're done. Like, you know that now, and I'm not gonna back down. And it's a very mature way of handling the situation, kind of. The show handles love in a much more mature way than other shows. And this really gets you to get a lot of emotion from characters you've met 5 minutes ago. There's Rou, who we learn a lot about him in his introduction. And wow, already you just feel for the guy. Like, you feel such sympathy and sorrow, and it's amazing that the show can get you to feel so strongly for a character that you had literally just met not 5 minutes ago. There's also another scene where Haru was waiting at the movies for Rikuo. They were going to go on like a date kind of thing. I don't think any of them specifically said date, but she's waiting at the theaters for Rikuo, and I have never been invested in a scene more than this one, because this is like Days of Our Lives, kind of like such stupid drama stuff where it's like, oh, is Rikuo gonna make it? Is he gonna stand her up? Oh no. And it's, I hate that I was that invested. I was literally like, oh god, is he gonna make it? I'm not gonna reveal if he did or not, but I was going back and forth because at first I'm like, no, he's not gonna make it. But then the scene dragged out for so long and I'm like, nah, he's gonna make it. But then I just went back and forth, and it's crazy that the show can get me invested that much to the point that I'm caring about a stupid little thing like that. But after that scene, the tone of the episode just completely shifted entirely. And it's insane how it can go from a happy-go-lucky to like a bit of a dark and like just, again, it's giving me Clannad vibes. I'm really worried about what's to come because I don't want to feel such strong emotions. I don't think it's going to go as dark as Clannad did, but we'll find out. I said in the last video how Darwin's Game could be in the top 3 anime of 2020. This is probably going to be in the top 2 anime of 2020. And I'm honestly debating if this show stays as good as it is, it could be in my top 10. There's just something about it that's I love so much. And But we'll find out if it stays as good in the next 18 episodes. Yes, there's 18 episodes to this show. Little weird. But I'm thinking because of Corona, the last 6, which would make it 24, the last 6 are pushed back for some other point. And recently an ONA has been added for 6 episodes. So I'm thinking my intuition is right. So it'll probably be 24 episodes, but the last few will be pushed back at some other point. And now, next up, Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. So I feel like I don't have to explain what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, but I'll go into a little bit of the lore of the world. Basically, this is a world where dueling is regulated by law, and a lot of the world revolves around it. The main character, I forget his name, he doesn't like the way that dueling is, you know, the regular duel style. He doesn't like that, so he's gonna make his own style. He's making rush duels, and he sends it out for the rest of the world to try. And it's illegal what he's doing, but he does it anyway. So let me start this with saying, this show is bad, but I kind of like it. Episode 1 was actually great and got me intrigued very much so with the whole Kaiba thing going on. But then episode 2 was just bad, like really, really bad. I do want to make another video at some point talking about episode 2 and how awful it was and how possibly illegal it was. I do have to say the one interesting thing about episode 2 is that the main character actually lost a duel, which has never been done before in Yu-Gi-Oh! I believe in Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, what's his name, Yuya or something? Or is that this series main character? I don't know. I believe, from what I know, he hasn't lost a single duel in the entire show. Which, what? But you know the writing for Yu-Gi-Oh! Has stepped up when a protagonist loses this early on in the show. Now, episode 3 was a little bit better. It was still a little dirty, but it was better. And that's honestly the only complaint that I have for the show, other than the art style change, which is an obvious whatever. Originally, I wasn't going to watch the show. The advertisement, the first promotional art was like Yu-Gi-Oh! 2020, and it had the Egyptian stuff going on, and it really looked like it was going to be a sequel to Dark Side of Dimensions or something, and it was going to be about Yugi and Kaiba. But then we get this. However, the world, the characters, the plot, everything is pretty well designed, and I'm willing to excuse the crappy art style for those. All 4 main characters have really great personalities and backstories, and they all complement each other really well, and I really like all of them. The plot is mysterious and gives me some major Team Rocket vibes for the main villain team, and I'm pretty down for that. The whole King of Duels thing with that hologram Kaiba got me really invested, and I'm still thinking that they might tie the series back to the original at some point. Because the King of Duels, the King of Games, they're using the same terminology, so I don't know, I'm thinking there might be some kind of connection. Too similar to not be a coincidence. But finally, the world itself is super cool. The whole like dueling being a dictatorship kind of scenario, it's so refreshing from what we've had in the previous series, where there's like other dimensions, universes and whatnot, and it's such a huge, like, it's too big. But now we go back, take it to the roots in a bit of a twist, where it's just a simple dueling world, and it's kind of cool. And there's, as I said, there's some stuff that I really hate about the show, which I haven't really gone into detail about, but I will at some point. However, as I said, there's a lot good about it. All what I've said is good. And the whole Rush Duel, first of all, the rules to the Rush Duel is super cool, and I want to buy some packs because I really want to try it out. Rush dueling seems so cool. It's basically speed dueling, but not garbage. But yeah, as I said, I wanted to make a video as well about Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. I want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole. However, one last thing, Roman is an absolute cutie and must be protected at all costs. So next up is Sword Art Online War of Underworld Season... What? Oh, that's been delayed. Oh, okay. Alright then, I'll move on. Next up is ReZero Season... What? So, it turns out both ReZero Season 2 and Sword Art Online War of Underworld Season 2 have been delayed till summer. So, great. At the end of the season, I'll go back to these anime and give a final review of them all. But yeah, so I'm excited for that. Stay tuned for that in like 7-8 weeks. But as for next week, I'm not too sure what I'm going to be uploading. Stay tuned for maybe something Yu-Gi-Oh related. I don't know. We've got a couple in the works right now though, so stay tuned for those possibly. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please subscribe. It really means a lot. But anyway, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.